This week, today's homeowner is crisscrossing the country to show you 4 big ways to improve the energy efficiency of your home. Homeowners from everywhere are cutting utility bills. Stick around and find out how you can too. Energy efficiency is a big deal to everyone these days, especially now that tax incentives are available for those energy-saving improvements. So today we're going to look at 4 very important areas of your home that can give you the opportunity to not only save a lot of money each and every month on your energy bill, but also gives you the best opportunity for those tax credits. Air conditioning and heating, water heaters, windows, and insulation. Now we all have to think about the financial commitment when you're talking about these type of improvements and the pros and cons, but these homeowners, they have it made. John and Joanne Thompson just recently won a home energy makeover from their local utility company, and over the last few days, this place has been buzzing with activity. The work that's taking place is intended to make the Thompsons' Gulf Coast home more energy efficient, but it all started with a phone call to their local electric company, Baldwin EMC.
I had called EMC about an electric bill when it hit the 455 mark. And Melissa came to do an energy audit, and she told me about it and asked me if I would be interested in filling out papers and entering the contest. And of course I did, and we won. It's just wonderful.
We've had a real increase in usage of electricity in the last 4 or 5 years. And it's got to the point where it's very difficult to sustain it because we own a limited income.
The first step to improving the home's efficiency was finding the problems. Like many utilities, this one conducts energy audits for its customers, but in this case, they also did some extensive testing. By creating a negative air pressure inside the house with a blower door test, they could get a better idea about how much outside air was sneaking in to influence the living space. A smoke pencil showed lots of air movement from the attic into the house, and infrared photography helped pinpoint the areas where that attic heat was affecting indoor temperatures.
In addition to that, we found that the duct system was leaking like 30%. So that means that actually 30% of the BTUs and the capacity of the system was actually going into the attic and not coming into the home. So we're going to redo the duct system and totally seal the duct system so we have less than 10% duct leakage to the attic. The average leakage for our duct systems in the United States is 25 to 40%. So if you're looking at replacing your system, you need to be sure that you have your ducts tested so that that 16 SEER system will actually be 16 SEER once it's installed, because if you install a high efficient system on a leaky duct system, you're not actually getting the true SEER rating that you're looking at and that you're actually purchasing.
It's not that uncommon to find these type of inefficiencies in a home that's 30 years old. The challenge now is to seal the envelope of the home so that the outside air is not influencing what's inside. Plus, we'll be upgrading all of the appliances and the heating and cooling system with something that's a lot more energy efficient. Before the new foam insulation can be applied, some of the old loose insulation has to be removed from the attic space, and this massive vacuum makes quick work of it. To make way for the new duct system, the old leaky one is removed, and finally we're ready for the foam guys. They spray the stuff on every surface in the attic that's adjacent to the outside, so it insulates and completely seals the house, blocking out any outside air. Because this is an existing house, they can't get inside the walls, but in new construction, the foam covers both roofs and walls to create an airtight envelope. Even so, it'll make a big difference in this 30-year-old home. Meanwhile, downstairs, Tim and Melissa, the home energy specialists from the utility company, are sealing up every gap and crack they can find around the perimeter of the house. Once the foam in the attic is dry, work begins on the new, more efficient duct system, which will deliver air from this new high-efficiency heat pump. The SEER rating, or Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio, of this unit is 16, about twice what the old one was. By combining this with a variable speed air handler and connecting it to the tighter ductwork creates an incredibly efficient heating and cooling system. The new system is the same size as the old one, but because of all of the insulation that's taken place and a complete replacement of the existing ductwork, the homeowners will now be able to keep their house nice and comfortable, plus heat and cool this 250 square foot sunroom addition that the old system just couldn't handle. Now, with all of these improvements, they're expecting a 40% reduction in their utility bill each and every month. That's some pretty good news. Hey, we've got some more energy saving tips for you coming up. But first, let's check in with Joe with his simple solution.
Even if you never plan to do your own electrical work, you need to know which breakers operate which electrical circuits in the house. Now, the first thing you need to do is find your electrical panel. Now, typically it's in the basement or crawl space, and it has the breakers themselves are labeled to which circuits they operate on the door. In this case, they're not, so we're going to have to add those later. But if you want to check which breaker to turn off, what you can do is if it's close enough to the panel, you can plug in a trouble light, stretch the cord out here, then turn on some breakers and see which one will eventually turn off this light. All right, so, no, not that one. There we go. All right, so what's that? Number 7. So now we know, we can label it. The number 7 breaker operates that circuit. Now this is great if you're very close to the panel, but what if you're in the back of the house or upstairs, you won't be able to see the light. So the trick is to use a radio. Plug it into the outlet, turn it on full blast, come down here, and as you turn breakers on or off, you can listen for the music. When the music goes off, you know you've got the right breaker.
Heating water in your home represents about 13% of your total energy costs, so any improvement here will have a big impact. Now, these owners had a very old, inefficient electric water heater, and it's been replaced with a state-of-the-art model that is actually a heat pump water heater that the manufacturer says can save up to $300 per year on energy usage. Now, if you have a gas water heater in your home, here's a couple options.
This is one of those options. This is a tankless water heater, and even though they've been in the U.S. for about 30 years, they've really gained a lot of popularity in the past 10 years. One of the most obvious benefits is that it's not expending energy heating water just to store it in a tank. This heats water only as you need it. Cold water enters here, and when a valve inside is turned on, the water will circulate through a copper heat exchanger to supply the demand quickly, and then it shuts off when the valve inside is closed. Whole house units like this one can be installed inside or out, and the size that's right for your home really depends on how many fixtures this will supply and what area of the country you're in. They're very efficient. They've got an energy factor rating between 80 and 85%, which on average is at least 10% more efficient than standard tank models. Now, as I said, this is one option. Take a look at what Danny has in mind for option number 2.
When I built my house 20 years ago, I installed 2 50-gallon gas water heaters, one here and one right over there. At the time, they were the most efficient water heater on the market, but after 20 years, I'm even surprised they lasted that long, and sediment that's probably accumulated in the bottom of it is making them just not as efficient as they could be. And I've actually found a unit that I'm going to be able to replace them with. I'll be able to eliminate both of these and go back with just one. The heater we're putting in is called the Vertex, and I got the idea from a guy who's no stranger to our show and knows a thing or two about this stuff, Ed Begley Jr. Now, besides being an actor and an outspoken environmentalist, Ed is also quite a gadget junkie.
I start right away with solar. I got a solar tank right here that starts everything. I've had this for years, and that's heating the water for showers and laundry. I don't have a pool or anything, but it's great for showers and laundry. What I used to do is take the water out of this solar tank that would preheat it, do most of the work a lot of the year, and then I would send it to an old 1980s natural gas heater. I replaced that with this A.O. Smith Vertex 100, 100,000 BTU. So besides the energy efficiency with its high Energy Star rating, Rochelle's happy because she's got a lot more hot water for showers.
Right. And you're giving it kind of a head start with already preheating a little bit.
We're doing most of the heavy lifting, not just in the hot summer months, but wintertime. I see this in kind of a cloudy day. It'll preheat that water to 75, 80 degrees, doing half the heavy lifting from that 55-degree DWP, water coming out of the pipe. So this is a great unit. 96% thermal efficiency.
That's great.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I really, really like it. I got a couple of other gadgets here. It not only takes the water from the solar tank here and heats it for showers and laundry, it sends it also to my heating and air unit there. So that hot water is what's giving us the heat for the house.
Now, you've had this for a while. How are those bills looking for you?
I'm telling you, I've never been more impressed, Danny. Half My natural gas bills were low anyway because I'm very well insulated here. 1/2 on my natural gas bills. That's pretty substantial.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things about the whole makeup of this type of unit that impressed me is that simply the idea of it exhaust through a PVC pipe, that it has so little heat that's escaping from it that you can do it with a PVC pipe instead of all of this double insulated type of metal pipe as old water heaters are.
And we got 2 ducts which really make a difference. One duct coming in brings in the air for the combustion inside this unit. The other with exhaust, as you say, going out. Because the reason I could never seal up the basement here, I wanted to seal it up for better insulation factor for my house. I couldn't do it because I had open flame. Open flame here, open flame there. Now one flame here, but ducted in and ducted out for super efficiency. I got another little thing I want to show you.
Okay.
This is my favorite thing, Danny. Right up here, you might be able to see there's this unit connected to the internet. There's a modem there, wireless modem and what have you. And what this does is it sends a signal wherever I am in the world, Danny. I can get online and see if Rochelle is taking a long shower.
Oh, no, she doesn't like that.
She didn't like that at all. Rochelle, I happen to know that you're taking a long shower, but you're in Schenectady. How can you know that? Trust me, I know. I get online and I know when this thing's been on a while.
She's going to find out where that plug is right there.
I know. I'm going to have to put a padlock on that.
Now, the installation that Artie the plumber is doing back at my house doesn't have all those bells and whistles for remote monitoring, but I am hoping to see some of those savings that Ed was bragging about. It's been a couple weeks since Artie and his crew completed the installation of my water heater. Now before I had 2 water heaters, now I only have 1. I was a little concerned about that, but over the last 2 weeks we've had plenty of hot water here in the house. And I just can't wait to see what this thing does to my gas bill.
If you're like me, you love all those technological little gadgets that we always need to get through our day. Well, kind of jumping a little bit here, I want to show you this. Ryobi has come up with the Tech 4 system. And all of these devices right here run on this 4-volt lithium-ion battery. This is pretty neat because this one battery replaces or outlasts 6,000 AA batteries over a long period of time. So think about all the money that you're saving. But what I like about the technological advance here is this. This is the newest addition to their line. This is a portable power source. And when you put this 4-volt battery in here and you put in the correct adapter, you can charge everything from an iPod to a cell phone to even your BlackBerry. And who doesn't love that? I love it when the technology out there enhances my other technology. I just love it.
This week we're looking at 4 big items that can improve your home's energy efficiency. We started out with the Thompsons, a Gulf Coast couple who won an energy makeover from their local utility company. Part of that prize included the first 2 items on our list: new foam perimeter insulation and a high-efficiency heating and cooling system. Number 3 was the water heater, and we looked at a variety of energy-stingy models, including one that my friend Ed Begley Jr. recommended for my house. Now it's time to look at number 4. The windows. If you live in an older house like this one, most likely you have the original windows, and if they're like these windows, they're wooden and they're single pane. Now the problem with that is during the winter, these windows can be very drafty, making it very hard to keep your home nice and comfortable inside. During the summertime, the heat gain from all of the sun pouring into the rooms can really heat up those rooms, making your air conditioner work overtime. You can see this homeowner is keeping all of her shutters closed to reflect a lot of that heat. Now there's several different options. One, you can replace the entire window unit, which will entail a fair amount of work on the inside of the home. That can cost a lot of money. But another option is that you're able to make this a very energy efficient opening by just replacing the sashes.
Yeah, often in a remodel or renovation where double hung windows are concerned, whether it be maybe a newer home or a historic home, a lot of times you'll find that the actual frame is in pretty good shape and doesn't necessarily need replacing. So an option for that, one that we offer, are what we call sash packs, in which you get the top and bottom sash and also the balances or the thing that the windows actually travel on. And it's a pretty easy proposition, just replacing those items rather than removing the whole window. And it's quite economical too, as opposed to the price of a complete window unit.
If you think that sounds simple, it is. The old sashes are cut so that they can be removed without breaking the glass before the balances and window stops come out. These metal clips attach to the frame so the new balances can be snapped into them. Then it's simply a matter of setting the new sashes in place, replacing the stops, and cleaning the glass. Because these new sashes have double pane glass set in vinyl frames, they offer a much better insulation value. Plus, they have a low E coating which reflects heat back to its source, keeping the home more comfortable year-round. Something the owner will appreciate, but right now, she's excited about the convenience.
The process of replacing these windows was unbelievable. The gentlemen, the workers were so good and so quick. They'd had it all done in no time short, and they were so clean. And it was all done in 2 days, which was amazing.
This home is in a warm southern climate, but windows can make a big difference in a cold climate too. A little over a year ago, we helped Maine homeowners Greg and Jen Quimby replace the windows in their 100-year-old farmhouse. The improvement really paid off because since then, they've cut their heating oil use in half, a savings of over $2,000 in just 1 year. Most people, like the Quimbys and Mrs. Hegeman, replace their windows because they want to make their home a lot more energy efficient. But there's another benefit. They look really good, a lot better than windows that have been painted over and over during the years. Now, speaking of painting, that can be one of the most tedious processes, is having to paint your windows over and over. Well, these are vinyl windows, so she will never have to do any painting now or in the years to come. I don't know of any kid that doesn't like playing with a periscope, especially if it's one you make yourself, like this one. Periscopes aren't green, but the concept is. It uses two mirrors to reflect the image so that you can see over walls or around corners. Why is that green? Well, you've heard me talk a lot about using natural light to brighten your home and reduce the need to turn on the lights. But what do you do about the places without the benefit of windows, such as closets, hallways, and interior bathrooms? These are the perfect spots for tubular skylights. It works because of the reflective surface inside the tube. It's like having 360 degrees of mirrors, so no matter what time of day it is, the sunlight will always reflect into the room. And the best part is, you're not using one single dime of electricity. This week we've traveled from the Gulf Coast to the West Coast to New England to look at the 4 biggest energy-saving improvements that you can make to your home. Improved insulation, high-efficiency heating and cooling equipment, an upgraded water heater, and more efficient windows. Obviously, all of these improvements will cost you a little money, but you'll save money each and every month on your utility bill. Now, all of the things we've looked at this week are good candidates for the energy tax credit, so you'll also save a little money at tax time. In any case, it doesn't seem like there's ever been a better time to start cutting your energy costs than right now. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner.